Hey all, Heretic here with some Hearthstone Battleground news updated here. We have some really exciting news for you, and that news is buddies are back. Did you play Battlegrounds during the buddies meta? Do you remember these days? I'm willing to bet most people don't remember them accurately. Some of us still bear the scars of the wonders of these days. Now folks, I need to preface all this. I always try to be very positive on the news. I want to portray things as always good. And I want to try to put the good things on life. There's enough negative in our days, so we don't really need to crap on the new things that could be fun. And I'm hoping this could be fun, but the buddy meta sucked for me. There's no way I can put it. I did not enjoy the buddy meta. It was incredibly high rolly. It punished people who didn't buy the heroes in, the 4 slots instead of 2. And back then it only cost gold and not actual money. The buddy meta is extremely tilted to certain heroes being very good and certain heroes very bad. Very simply put, it's if you have a good hero and it has a good buddy, you will dominate most lobbies. If you have a bad hero with a mediocre buddy to good buddy, you at least have a chance. But if you have a bad hero with a bad buddy, you are top 8ing. This is almost a guarantee. Yes, there are outliers. You can certainly win it, but I just want to preface that I have a slight distaste for this because the system punishes you for bad luck on hero selection really badly. Well, the quest meta kind of puts you in a position where, oh, this isn't too bad because now I get to have even a bad hero have a chance to get a good quest so we can make things work. In this system, it is quite the opposite. And it's better and worse in some ways. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to show it to you. You can draw your own conclusions. This is my obviously very biased opinion. I want to see what you think. First of all, buddies are coming back for the mid-season update, patch 25.6. When that hits, there's going to be a whole bunch of new buddies. There's been a whole new slew of new heroes added to the game that obviously do not have buddies. So they're adding some buddies here. And so what I have is the one buddy listed here. I have all the ones listed from Twitter that came out. We're going to go over them, and they're all going to seem very exciting and shiny. And then I'm going to show you some of the ones for pre-existing heroes, and then maybe you could start seeing. And yes, I have cherry-picked a couple of the weaker ones because I want you to see. So first, let's look at how we make buddies now. If you look at it, the buddy meter is gone. If you don't know what the buddy meter is, congratulations. You didn't want to know what it was. It was a convoluted system that was based on how much damage you did to your opponent in the combat, that had a cap that was screwy because it counted divine shields as being 1 damage. If you hit the minion for 100, it was still only 1 damage, so it messed up the whole system. So when you're fighting mech players, you got less buddy value. It was annoying. But all that being said, the new system seems to be a little better. I do like this system. So what's going to happen is the initial cost to your buddy will be based on your buddy's tavern tier, which they can assign. And I'm imagine rework his time go pretty consistently and fluidly. Buddies will be tavern tier 1 to 6. And then they will cost 11 gold for a tier 1, 21 gold for a tier 6. And this is where it gets a little bizarre. The cost will then reduce by 3 for each won or tied combat, or reduced by 2 for each lost combat. I don't like this because you're rewarded for winning and tying and then punished for losing. So the more you win, the easier you win because you get your buddy faster. I know, I'm sure balancing, they're going to try to fix this. But there's a lot of heroes, and there are an absurd amount of buddies attached to all those heroes. Good luck. We've been here. How long did it take them to figure out Kooky Chemist? Oh, that's right. They never did. How long did Chromewing take to get redone? I don't know, like 4 different iterations, and really it was always messed up because of Kooky Chemist? You see where I'm going here. It feels like a snowball effect that they're setting up right off the bat. Like on launch, the more you win, the more you win. A little different from how I do it, but I see what they're going for this. So you can use this twice per game. So, obviously you can get additional copies of it. When you're playing heroes who can steal, different cards from your opponent that they keep on the board, obviously Tests, Scabs, Murazons, things like that. Now you're going to have even more potential for shenanigans because you're going to have heroes having buddies they shouldn't have, doing truly wacky, wonderful things. This is where the system kind of shines for me because I like playing Tests and Scabs in a lobby where everyone has something unique, and now I can steal those unique things. Yes, it's fun when you're playing against a Curator and a Zoth, but those aren't nearly as impactful as these minions are going to be. And another important thing to remember is when you hit the buddy button the second time, you're going to get 2 copies of it. So some buddies you don't want to triple. Some buddies that give you battle cries, or just maybe because your board's cluttered, it might be more advantageous to have another 2 copies. So you might want to sell that first copy right away and then just get 2 more of the effects of the second one, depending on what the effects end up being on your particular buddy. So now that you have a taste of how you're going to acquire the buddies, let's take a look at the new buddies they've announced and then some of the old buddies so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about. So the new buddy here, we're going to look at here, Watfin. This is Murloc Holmes' buddy. Watfin is a Tavern Tier 3, 2/6, Beast, who looks a lot like a Murloc. After you guessed correctly with Detective for Hire, get a plain copy of a minion. So, as you know, it's actually incredibly easy to pick with Murloc Holmes. There are occasional turns where you get, a trap card where they've played something where it says, oh, they have 2 triples and it offers you 2 of the same card, and one of them is a gold version. Yeah, and they had one to begin with, so now you're like, oh wait, yeah, they did have a putt bot when I fought them. It has been 6 turns. Yeah, they could have tripled the putt bot, and it shows you a golden and a regular putt bot, and you're like, crap. Those, it's a coin toss, right? You just don't know which way it's gonna go. Wait and see. But really, you're hitting homes like 80%, 90% of your bets. Like you're always guessing right most of the time, because there's some really obvious ones. There's some really dumb ones that show, they have no triples. Do they have this gold card or this normal card? And you're like, obviously they have the gold card. You know what I'm saying? It's just some of these are pretty dumb. So you're going to be getting a lot of free minions, plus you're going to be getting gold. And let's take a look over at the gold version of it. Now you get 2 copies of this. This is a pretty damn good example of what buddies are going to be doing. Nutty things that are a lot of fun, but if you have a bad buddy and a bad hero, are punishing. Let's take a look at some more. Now we have Professor Putricide Festergut, a 5/2 undead tier 4 death rattle summon an undead creation. You want to talk about a busy board. You've got 3 creations, you've got your buddy thing, and then you have possibly 2 more buddy things, so you'll triple into 4 creations, or if you keep them separate for some reason, 5 of your board being eaten up by these things. So there's definitely going to be some decision making with Festergut, depending how good the random undead creations it gives you, and are they level appropriate? Can I play Festergut, and can I get an Eternal Summoner as soon as it dies, even though I'm not tier 6? You should say no. That should be how it's designed, but until we see it in practice, we're gonna find out. Now we have Teron Gorefiend's buddy, tier 3, 3/4 shadowy construct. After a friendly minion dies, give its neighbors +1/+1. So one of the easiest ways to deal with most death rattly reborn boards is tunnel blasting with Titus. Well, good luck on that now, because these Teron players are going to be playing this as quickly as possible. Are they a leapfrog board? They just all gained a bunch of stats. They're going to get rid of this pretty quick if they are, but they're going to make it so they no longer have to worry about tunnel blasting at all. Are they an undead board? Same deal. They're going to summon a billion minions. This is going to sit in back for a few turns. Then they're going to kick it out to replace it with the powerful minions, and they're no longer going to be afraid at all of Tunnel Blaster. You're going to have to brute force your way through a sea of 50 attack undead. Next up, we have Queen Azshara's buddy, the Imperial Defender. Whenever you cast a spellcraft spell on a different minion, you also cast it on this. So I have some questions here about this right off the bat. When you cast a spellcraft spell on this, on a different minion, you also cast it on this. So for the purposes of Athissa, for the purposes of this, of Eventide Brew, is this going to cast as a separate casting of the spell? Because if you have Athissas, this is going to get nutty really, really fast. This is going to be pre-nerf Naga going bonkers with this buddy. This isn't even before it's gold. This is just it. Just mimicking the buff is enough. Even if it doesn't also count as a separate cast of the spell, just the fact that you're going to cast Divine Shield, this is also going to get the Divine Shield. You're going to give Wind Fury, this is also going to give Wind Fury. This is one of those minions where, do you want to triple this one? Or do you want 2 of them on the board? Because if you cast it on another minion, then they both would copy the effect. And in the case of Spellcraft, that's crazy powerful. This is going to make Azshara definitely see a lot more play again. Ozumat comes in with their friend Tamuzo. Tamuzo is a tier 3 4/4 beast, Avenge 2 upgrade tentacular by +1/+1. Now, I'm gonna have to see how this plays out, but I already am not a huge fan of this buddy. This buddy seems very weak. And the reason for that is it's very easy to deal with your hero power already. Everybody knows exactly how big it is. So if you have the right size minion to counter it, you slot it in that first slot, you kill this, and you don't worry about it. What is this going to do? I mean, you're still going to have Leroy, Mansion Queen, just your normal giant minion to smash down whatever it is. So it's going to be bigger. It still dies to the same things. You can't buff it with Divine Shield. You can't give it anything to make it come back with its stats. Ozumat is going to be very weak in the buddy meta, it feels like, with this. Maybe I'm misreading something, but I am not impressed by Ozumat at all with this buddy. Does anyone else feel like maybe they feel like Naga are a little weak in that they want to see Naga win more lobbies? I feel like Naga are a great technical tribe. They will help your tribe do better, but they don't really stand alone very well unless you get in a super early Athissa in the nuts on Spellcraft. But hey, guess what? Lady Vash comes in here with the tier 2, 3/4 Naga Coilfang Elite. After a Spellcraft minion appears in Bob's Tavern, get a copy of its spell. So, has you refreshing, you see one you don't really want because you're like, you know, I want Spellcraft, but I have a good board and it's not worth spending the gold on that minion. Oh, don't worry, it's just in your hand. Okay, I'm gonna bet when it's gold, it gives you 2 copies of it. And if not, why not just keep 2 of these on your board to get double the Spellcraft as you refresh? So now you only cherry pick and buy the minions you perfectly want while you roll around and just accumulate free Spellcraft. And if you already have an Athissa on your board, and hell, you're playing Lady Vash, you're already making that Spellcraft permanent on the first one you cast each turn. This is great. This is super powered. Like, oh, I don't even need to buy the Orgazoa, the Tendered in the shop. I'm just going to go right by it and get the free Discover a Naga. Heistbaron comes in with just a small little, not an amazing minion at all. This doesn't completely unbalance the game depending when you play it, and you want to make sure you play this one at the right time. Waxadred the Drippy. First of all, points just for the name. Okay, this is amazing. Tier 4, 7/5 Elemental Dragon. Battlecry, refresh Bob's Tavern with the highest tier minion from each opponent's warband. So what I'm going to imagine is, since you have 7 opponents and the shop can hold 7 cards, when you play Waxadred, it's going to give you the highest tier minion from each of those shops. Now, mind you, they have multiple 6s. You're only going to get 1. It's going to be random, but holy crap. If you get this early, don't play it. You want to wait till there's 2 or 3 people with tier 6 minions in the shop, unless you know, say there's only 1 person with a tier 6 minion in the shop as far as you can tell, and you know it's something you really want, like a T-Master early. Hey, guess what? Drop down Waxadred. Now you've got a T-Master in your shop. Buy it, play, win. This is great. This is very much a timing card. You're not going to keep this on your board at all, but as you cycle this, this is phenomenal. This is one of those cards that you're not going to want to triple probably. You're going to want to play it, get that value out of it, get rid of it, and then get 2 more when you hit your buddy power the second time and go completely nuts and get 2 more copies of T-Masters and triple and win. Next up, Shady Aristocrat from Sire Denathrious, a 2/2 tier 2 neutral. Battlecry, discover a quest, complete it to get an 8 gold coin pouch. This one you might want to triple. I'm willing to bet it's either going to give you 2 gold pouches of 8 or just 1 16 pouch. Either way, depending on how long it takes to complete the quest, this could be pretty powerful. If it's only, you know, like a 3-turn quest, I feel like that's pretty reasonable for 8 gold. If we're talking 4 or 5 turns, it's starting to get not worth your time. And if it's only 2 turns to complete it, that's kind of bonkers value. And since it's a battle cry, and if I have a brand, do I get 2 quests that each give 8 gold? That really changes the scene. And if I triple it, and now it gives me a quest that, say, gives me 16 gold reward, and I get 2 of those, ooh, this is where it starts to get really nutty, the buddies. You can do some wacky things, and we don't know all the information yet, so this is going to be pretty neat to discover. Next up is Sylvanus with Nathanos Blightcaller, a tier 5, 3/6 undead. Battlecry, remove a friendly minion, gives its stats to its neighbors. All right, does Bran work with this? Is it going to give double stats? Is this good? Yes or no? It's tier 5. This is one of the hardest ones to complete we've seen. This is a callback to Sylvanus's original hero power, which was not very good. I feel like this doesn't sound very good. Yes, there are certain cases where, yes, if you get in the late game, you have a big minion that doesn't really fit with the build you end up doing, now you can get rid of it. You know, you've had Sylvanus's hero power cranking out the board. They've got big stats, but some of them just don't fit in the build you want to do. This does work synergy-wise to remove it, but at tier 5, is it too slow? Yes, your minions are big, and yes, you want to give their stats away, but at the same time, is this too slow? We're going to have to wait and see. This is definitely one you're not going to keep on your board. You might want to triple it still, but then you're going to want to get rid of it because a 6/12 that doesn't do anything else isn't really worth its time. But if it's 6/12 that gives double the stats of a minion on your board, it's not too bad. And it is undead, so it does synergize with the tribe, so having it on the board doesn't hurt you that much. We'll see. This is an interesting one. I want to see how it plays out. Sylvanus is a relatively strong hero. I just don't see her played a whole lot because her hero power is kind of around your board dying and then getting better after the fact. So next up we have Enhanc-O, whatever his name is, I can't say it, with Enhanc-O Medico, Tier 2, 2/3 mech, minions in Bob Tavern with Taunt, Reborn, Wind Fury, or Divine Shield have +1/+1 for each. This is an interesting buddy. It's relatively cheap to get at Tier 2. My gut is I don't like it. I don't like this hero to begin with. I feel like the buff, while it is a good low, early to get buddy, is a good enough buff to make that work. I just feel like in the long term, I don't care about this buddy. Like, I don't want this on my board. Maybe if it had Divine Shield built into it, I'd like it. But I feel like it's just there, and it's a 2/3. Its stats kind of suck. If you triple it, it's a 4/6. Okay, if it gives +2/+2, you got an Annoya module in the shop. That Annoya module is going to get +4/+4 because it has Divine Shield and Taunt. I'm still not excited about it, but we'll see. It's an interesting buddy. We'll see how it plays out. I feel like it might be a Tavern Tier 1, but let's wait and see how it all plays out. I'm just not excited about this one. So now we're back where we've looked at the new buddies and you're all excited. And for the most part, they seem really good. Like, in theory, this stuff all works. And you're like, great, Heretic, why are you down on buddies? Buddies seem exciting. And they are, unless you get a bad hero. So let's look at an example of a bad hero getting a bad buddy. Rakinishu doesn't see much play. Most people don't care for Rakinishu as they stand right now. Lantern Tender is Rakinishu's buddy. Now, mind you, we don't know the exact stats. Maybe they've changed it in some way, but this is the previous form of it. A Tier 3, 3/5 neutral, Lantern Tender. At the end of your turn, give a random friendly minion stats equal to your Tavern tier. So it's a 3/5 that sits on your board that if you're Tier 5, will randomly give one minion +5/+5. I want you to think back to some of the buddies we just saw. Free minions, massive stats, crazy cool buffs, neat interactions to +5/+5. Are you excited now? Do you feel like your next half an hour playing Rakinishu is going to end well compared to the other buddies you've seen? So next, let's take a look at another existing buddy as they did. Alexstraza's buddy, Vaelastrasz, was a Tier 3, 5/3 dragon. Battle cry, add a random dragon of your Tavern tier to your hand. Are you excited now? Yes, if you're Tavern Tier 5, there's 3 dragons. Is this what you want to get from your buddy? Think about those 3 dragons. You're not feeling great at the moment. You're Tavern Tier 6. Let's think about all those oh. Yeah. This is where the buddy system starts to get more flat. Now you're playing a hero who's not bad. A lot of RNG. Not my favorite to play at any stretch, but people seem to enjoy playing Alexstraza. You're adding more randomness. How does this buddy feel compared to the others? And let's look at one more. Now, not to harp on dragons too much, not to rip the already struggling tribe as it is, with the exception of Chrononormuz, let's look at Ysera's buddy, Tier 4, 6/4, Valithria Dreamwalker. Dragons in Bob's Tavern have +3/+3. How do you feel now? This has to stay on your board. The moment it leaves, the buff from your shop goes away. Do you want this even tripled as a 12/8 that gives your shop +6/+6 to only the dragons? Is this the kind of buddy you want? Do you feel like you have a chance playing with these heroes? Right now, Ysera's very competitive. She can hold her own. She's not very exciting gameplay, but Ysera can do her thing. In the buddy meta, how do you feel stacked up against the other heroes with this buddy? This is what I'm concerned about. Some of these buddies suck. Yeah, maybe they're going to redo all of these. I've got a feeling they're going to be as they were. The Tavern tiers will change. The stats might change a little bit, but the effect is what matters. And the effect in this case, and the other cases I showed you, they are cherry-picked to show you examples of weak ones. There's a lot of weak heroes in BGs right now, and that makes it really frustrating to play, especially if you're a free-to-play player you only get 2 heroes, you are now fighting with basically both your arms tied behind your back. Good luck with this game, folks. This is going to be a rough round with these. That's it, folks. I don't want to be too down on buddies. I think there are some really exciting buddies. There are some fun buddies. There are some buddies that are broken that some of you haven't seen, that if they come back in their previous form, you're going to be like, holy crap, heroes I haven't really wanted to play. Now I want to play. You're going to look at other heroes and say, wow, look, I never wanted to play that hero. I hope I never see that hero as an option. And the heroes that were great are even better. So it's going to be a very interesting meta. It'll be very different from what you're seeing right now. The Videla meta is kind of blah, and I understand that. I kind of wish buddies were what they did in the previous version, where they were only in 25% of the games, maybe even 50% of the games. I do not want them in all the games. That being said, they are an interesting system. As long as they only stick around for like 3 months, I don't care. If I have to deal with this for 6 months, I'm going to be banging my head on the keyboard. Next thing you know, they're going to tell me Diablo's coming back with this patch also, and I can just fully slam my head on the keyboard and face roll myself to the uninstall button. Please, God, don't give me buddies and Diablo at the same damn time. Maybe, oh wait, the timing is just perfect. June is about when they usually release the new system and the new tribe. Maybe that Diablo will come in as all this goes away and the new tribe comes in, and then we can have some fun. I could deal with that. Tell me what you think, folks. Are you excited about buddies? Is this what you want in the game? Are you tired of the current system? Do you just wish it was the quest meta? Because I really wish it was just the quest meta. Tell me what you think. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. I really do enjoy Hearthstone Battlegrounds a lot, and I want to keep doing this. I'm just not excited about the buddy meta. That's all. Till next time, have a good one. Later.